There's one area where business and the government representing all people and the labor unions for sure should all be unified, which is to spend the money to provide continuing education so that workers have, we can't invent, we didn't know there were going to be jobs in artificial intelligence until 6 seconds ago. But education needs to be out there, and programs to provide education, to train up workers at every level of the food chain. I think that's a vital factor that would both strengthen democracy and capitalism, even if it costs higher taxes. And so that would be, something to create the unknown jobs of the future, not to mention the known jobs of the present.
The dislocation is what creates the opportunity. And in a capitalist system, people recognize that. Now, I have to go back to what Nick was talking about. I think that's a great idea, ongoing education. This is another thing. I'm definitely less of a federalist than I guess the rest of you, because I think we need to have that system, but I think I'm really a hands-off guy, and that means you're probably going to have more dislocations for longer, but it does it's a self-righting system at some point, because if something's not working, you can't keep doing it in a capitalist system because you go broke.
Every time there's a technological revolution, there are jobs that are lost, that are visible, and then there are jobs that are created that were unknown when the revolution started. If one thinks about over long periods of time, the degree of quote unemployment in society has not suddenly, over time moved up because we've had technological innovation. And certainly, Nick's right. There was a point when literally 98% of all Americans were in the agricultural sector. A few people lived in cities, and now it's roughly 2%. And we're able to feed far more people than we ever could. So I think we should be, cautious, but not negative on this question of job creation, and presume that what has happened in the past will continue to happen. There will be different jobs, but there will certainly be jobs.
It's when we look at social problems in our society, I always say, compared to what? Compared to Mexico? Oh, well, let's compare it to Russia. Let's compare it to any other country. So in the realm of human endeavor, I think perfection can be a great goal, but you've got to be realistic about what you can actually accomplish. So let's pick another country that's doing it the right way that we could emulate, because I don't see it.
Technology during the course of all of our lives and way before, as Nick was saying, is always changing. And as Roger said, there are always jobs that are taken away. Buggy whips, for instance. I'm from Cleveland. Almost every manufacturer, there were 50 Fortune 500 companies in Cleveland, and now there are 10 in the entire state. So jobs and who gets to do what job, you don't necessarily get a job where you were born. So technology changes everything very, very quickly now. It used to take, 50 years for a new technology, or 100 years, and now it happens in like 4 years. And so our ability to retrain ourselves, create new opportunities for ourselves, really comes down to motivation and education and access to those opportunities, and making that be as available to everyone. The willing to do it is really important. But with technology now in 2024, you can get an education in almost anything you want online. If you have good internet, which I think is something I hope every United States citizen, anyone, can get in their home, so that they have access to learn, just like electricity, clean water, clean air. I'd like to have fast internet. And with those things, then people can really apply themselves with the new technologies to have a great democracy and great allocation of resources through capitalism, and the kind of civil discourse I think we all would like to have. We have vilified our government. We have vilified our institutions, our research, as I said earlier. How we reframe things so that we're optimistic is really important. And as a tech person, I'm generally optimistic. So that's why, I guess I went into venture capital versus some other things, because it's always new. You never know. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow.